Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast. And, you know, as always, if you're here joining us, make a comment. Let us know where you are, what you're doing, what your questions are. And also, just let us know that you're doing okay. I want to present to you today, Kay. She's going to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about marketing, podcasting, some of the things that you can do for your business and expand your marketing. Kay, welcome aboard. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. Thank you for having me here.
Well, you know, it's an adventure. We had a little technical adjustment in the beginning, but nonetheless, that's what it's all about. You know, we have to experiment. We have to move forward. We have to kind of build on what we learn and know. And so for those that don't know you, you know, business strategist, author, CEO, talk about what you're doing, what you're passionate about today.
Okay, so as you already know, my name is Kay Suthar. I'm actually based in London, UK, and oh my God, it's sweltering. It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. And I was like, God, of all days today. So, yeah, do excuse me. In London, we're not used to this weather, but
we'll try not to turn the heat on to you today. We're keeping cool here. Keep it cool, everyone.
And so I am the CEO and founder of a company called Uncensored Society. And before anyone says it's not a porno site, because I've had people ask me about that, but if that drags traffic to my website, awesome. I am a business strategist, and well, we cover, and I say we because I have a business partner as well, Tim R. Johnson. He's amazing. And what we do is actually coach people on 5 main pillars of business, which is sales, marketing, finance, and operations, as well as leadership, mindset, and also making sure you find a balance when it comes to career and personal life. Because we know that if we start neglecting our families and our loved ones, they're going to tell us about it, right? And so we've got to make sure while we're building, while we're scaling our business, that you are able to, you know, spread your time out to the loved ones and your friends and make sure you get me time as well. So that's what we talk about. The reason why I called it Uncensored Society is because my background is in sales, is in live events, right? And so where I was kind of working all over the world, being flown here, there, everywhere, work at these live events, one of the main things that I noticed and where I found that there was a gap is that there's too many coaches and consultants out there that, you know, tap their clients on the shoulder and tell them it's going to be okay. Guess what? It's not going to be okay unless you do something about it, right? And so I'm that person that keeps you accountable, because accountability is really important here. Keeps you accountable, making sure you stay on track and you actually do the work. If you're not going to do the work, then guess what? You are no longer going to be welcome in my community or on my program. You'll have to find another coach. And so being raw, and relentless in wanting to achieve your dream and being successful, you got to have that drive. You got to have that determination. You can't give up. There are going to be days where you do feel like that. We all feel like that, but you just got to brush it off and just keep going. Do not give up. And if you're going to start making those excuses and telling me, oh, you can't because, you know, you've got a family as well, or you can't because, you know, you got to go out to the pub, have a few drinks while the football is on, and you can't put time on into your business, that's not going to work. You got to realize that this is going to be a commitment.
It is a commitment. Mm-hmm. And the reality is that it sounds like you're the voice in my head that you know, can battle the other one that at least leads me astray all the time. So we all have that moment where we're struggling. It's like, okay, I'm not sure what I need to do next. Mm-hmm. And I'm not completely confident that I can complete what I need to complete. So accountability, talk a little bit about accountability, because it sounds like you can crack the whip and keep people on task.
Right. So I say I keep people accountable, and I will keep you accountable, and I will be asking you questions if tasks haven't been completed. But it's a two-way street. You gotta want it bad enough to get things done. And so if I'm going to be that person that constantly has to chase you and constantly has to tell you, why haven't you done this and why haven't you done that? You miss your deadline and you're constantly giving me excuses, then guess what? Accountability doesn't work in that shape or form at all, right? It works both ways. I'll be there to help you through anything that you're going through, struggles, mindset. If you're having struggles balancing time management, we can talk all those things through. But excuses is something that I will not tolerate. No one in my community tolerates it. And if you are struggling with something, then it's up to you to let me know. I can't read minds, right? As much as people believe that I can read minds, I cannot read your mind. I do not know what's going on in your world.
What card am I thinking about right now?
Right? I mean, I've had clients where we've given tasks to, they said, yeah, they'll complete it by the end of the week. Week has passed, they've not done it. I was like, okay, give you a few more days, still not been done. And I'm like, what is going on here? You're telling me you're going to complete it, but it's just not happening. What's happening here? What's going on? And then it came down to the fact that they didn't know how to manage their time. And I'm like, well, that's simple. But I wish you had told me this earlier, right? Because you need to be asking the right questions and to just get to the next step. And therefore, you need to be able to voice what's going on. And so as long as you're able to tell me where you're getting stuck, what you're struggling with, where your frustrations are, then we can work through it.
Yeah.
And I will keep you accountable and making sure that you get through these little, pebble stones that you're going through, because it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to everybody, but you can get through it.
It happens to everyone and everybody. Listen, you don't have to feel alone because we're all going through this.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I guess when I first started was, I was struggling with having to just deal with time and how am I going to fit everything in? And do you know what? One of the things that I started to do that helps tremendously is putting everything into your calendar, in your Google Calendar, right? I use Google Calendars and it works wonders. I put everything in there, even to the point where I know what time I'm having breakfast. I know what time I'm having lunch, and I know what time I'm having dinner. Because what I found was happening is you're working and working and working and working and working. An entire day is gone and you've not even had a meal.
Yeah.
You need to be able.
I was going to say, one of the best things that I heard in the last few weeks was, don't tell me what you're working on. Tell me what you're going to get done.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to start getting things done if it's on your calendar.
Yeah.
Right? Putting time out to do certain tasks and knowing what you're going to be doing and how much time you're putting in. That way you can distribute your time evenly to different things that's going on in your world.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to shift gears a little bit because, one of the things you mentioned is business strategy around, every business needs to be seen, be heard, and be talked about. That's I talk about that a lot.
Right.
And one of the things that you recently started or you're launching is your podcast. So, is this kind of the subject that you're going to be talking about on this podcast?
So launching my podcast isn't something that I was going to talk about. However, what's happened recently, oh my God. So this year I decided, you know what, I'm going to get on as many different platforms as possible to speak, to let people know who I am, what I do, my business. And I came up with a strategy on how to do this. But what I didn't count on is that it was going to work so well, right? And in a matter of 60 days, I was able to book myself on 100 different podcasts throughout the year. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going crazy. So I had to hire people to help me out because I couldn't deal with all the different messages that was going on. And then what I then realized is that in the podcasting world, if you are a guest on someone's podcast, then it's expected, the offer to be reciprocated and have that other person on your podcast as well. So all of a sudden, I'm having these podcasters say to me, oh, yeah, so what about your podcast? And I'm like, oh, I don't have one. Maybe I should create one, right? Right. And so today I've actually launched my podcast. It's called Uncensored Society Podcast. It's still the same kind of, being raw, real, and relentless in achieving your dreams. I have guests come on, I interview them, and we talk about business, different aspects of business, whatever you specialize in, what people need to know. It's short, there's anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. I keep it very short. It's in audio as well as video as well, so you can find it on YouTube. But like I said, today has been the launch. So at the moment, what you'll find is the trailers.
Well, breaking news here today. So I wanted to highlight that and give you a shout out for
Thank you.
Because, I'm a huge fan of video. I'm a huge fan of being able to highlight individuals like yourself, people that are in business. We all have a gift, all have a message, and everything that comes along with our ability to share that is absolutely important. So if we can do it, I want to give a shout out to a couple of individuals in the room here. Marcia Reese is, I am doing A-OK. Thanks for asking. Love sharing early mornings with you and your guests. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Positive. Marcia owns Staywell Copper, and we're going to highlight her on Amazon live stream here shortly. So stay tuned for that, kids. So Jeffrey, great to join live today. Pirates Russ and Kay, nice to see you both this morning from Western New York. Thank you so much for being here from New York. Elise from South Africa. Good morning, Russ and Kay. It's very good to be here. Luis, good morning, Kay and Russ from groovy Los Angeles. And my producer, love my producer, Tracy. Good morning, Pirates. Thank you so much for being here. Sherry Lawley, thank you so much for showing up here. Good morning, she says. Great tips. Figured out EDI today. And if a small business benefits from this edition, well, keep us posted on that. Let us know what your experience is. So, Kay, people that are running business lives, busy lives, family lives, juggling all these things, time management is important. Self-care is important. Scheduling on calendars is important.
Right.
What are some things that you can really see business owners challenged with on a regular basis that we can help them out with? Some ideas and thoughts that we can share.
Okay, so firstly, what I really notice is when people are first starting out is that there's so many different social media platforms and they feel like they have to be on every single one of them, right? And that is overwhelming. It's frustrating. You can't spread yourself so thin just to try and get yourself out in social media. You need help, right? But first of all, maybe just pick 2 or 3 different platforms that you want to be, making sure you get yourself on and start building your audience. The minute you start getting bigger and you want to start spreading yourself out, this is when you start outsourcing. You need to get help. You have to have people in place in your business, different positions to help you out. You can't do this on your own. So make sure you keep it simple. You keep it as easy as possible for yourself until you grow your business to the point where you can start outsourcing. And don't ever think that you can build a multi-million-dollar business all by yourself. It doesn't happen. I don't know anyone that has done that, right? You are eventually going to have to employ people into your business to help you to expand.
Yeah, delegate or die, right?
Right, exactly. So don't ever do that. Employ people as soon as you can to help you out.
So what do you enjoy doing on your free time? What is it that
Oh,
you
my
enjoy
goodness.
relaxing with? Because if it's on your calendar, Kay, you're gonna have to do it. So
Yeah, but you know what's on my calendar that I absolutely love to do and I don't miss it? So I used to be an MMA fighter right before I had an injury, ended up in hospital. I love to kick the shit out of people, right?
relentlessly.
Exactly. So I love boxing. I love kickboxing. I used to do wall climbing, rock climbing. I like adventure. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm that one that goes skydiving for the fun of it. I don't have to think twice about it. So
jumping out of a perfectly good plane.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, boxing, keeping fit, beating people up, that's fun for me.
And now you're running business where you're beating up business owners on there.
There we go. Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, of course. Unless you're pushing the boundaries, then they're not going to come over there in your office.
Right. And do you know what the funny thing is that once I became this MMA fighter, absolutely loved it, caused injury, ended up in hospital, right? Because I damaged my spine, dislocated my shoulder, and I was like, holy crap, what am I going to do now? Because that was my career plan, right? This is what I was going to be. And so I decided, right, okay, I've got to quit this, got to forget about this. And then I became a police officer in London, and then was actually patrolling the streets for 6.5 years in London. But what is really, really funny about this, and a lot of people don't see it on a digital platform, but when I'm on a live stage, their jaws drop. And that's because I'm actually only 4'11", right? So they see me and they're like, what? That makes no sense whatsoever. How the hell did you do this? And so there was those people growing up when people tell me there's no way you're going to be able to do that. There's no way you're going to become an MMA fighter. The police force won't accept you because you're too short. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that this is totally possible. And so I use those naysayers, those people that told me I couldn't do it, as a motivator. It like lit a fire up my ass, and I just did it.
I love it. So you went from police officer to event coordinator?
So I went from police officer.
That's kind of a stretch in my mind. I'm just thinking.
It is. So again, I had another health scare, and it's so funny the way life works out. Yeah. And the way the universe tells you you're not on the right path, right? Yeah. And so I ended up back in hospital again. I had to quit my job as a police officer, and again I had to start from the beginning again, try and work out what the hell am I going to do now. And so I decided, you know what, it'd be quite fun to go into events. Never done it, don't have no experience, no qualifications, but you know what, everything that I have done in the past was exactly the same. No experience, no qualification, and I just learned on the job. And so I decided, right, okay, I'm going to do events. Don't know how I'm going to get there, don't know what's going to happen, but that's what I'm putting out there. And so I remember a company contacting me because it was like a referral for somebody else. And they contacted me and said, oh, I heard you want to go into events. I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, we're just growing our events division in our company. We're going to go worldwide, and we want you to be the first person we hire. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, but I don't have any experience. I've never done this before. I don't have qualifications. And they were like, well, are you willing to learn? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And they go, well, that's all we need to know. And so that happened. I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. And they go to me, what are you doing in 2 days? And I was like, well, I don't have any plans. And they're like, great, well, you need to pack your bags because a flight's been booked and you need to be in Malaysia. That's going to be your first event. So in 2 days, I packed my bags, got to the airport, got on a plane, and was in Malaysia. And that's when I kind of started my events career and just kind of learned on the job, which was exciting. Because guess what? Now I was in an environment where I had speakers. I was around salespeople, marketing team, right? Yeah. We had the audio, we had cameras. And I'm like, okay, so wait, hold on a second. Is this what business is all about? This is how it works. And I remember being there at the back of the room, just absorbing all this information from all these different gurus and just learning what real life business means. And I was at the point where I was on top of my career. In 4 months, I became an event manager. And then I said to them, you know what? I want to learn how to do sales. And they were like, okay, they gave me coaching and training. And eventually I became the #1 salesperson in the company. which was amazing. And then they were sending me all over the world. Guess what? My flights were paid for, my accommodation was paid for, my food and drink. And then the CEO decided that he's going to build this resort in Costa Rica where his mastermind events are going to be held. These mastermind events are like 60,000 US dollars, right? So it's not small money. And he asked me to go over there to lead a team, to make sure, you know, we're all together, we're doing the right things, what processes in place. And I was like, holy crap. So all of a sudden now, I'm packed my bags again and I moved to Costa Rica. Who wouldn't want to? Like, it was a beach resort, palm trees, sun, coconuts. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And my apartment was paid for. I had a chauffeur that brought me from my home to the resort, right, and back again. I was like, I can't get any better than this. And then it happened. All of a sudden, I was there for 3 weeks. The company shut down.
Oh.
Right? So now I'm like, holy crap, did this just happen?
Wow.
And all
Another
of a
turn
sudden,
of events.
Yeah, definitely. And
However,
all of a
you weren't
sudden,
hospitalized.
I wasn't, not this time. I was just homeless now. I was homeless. I was evicted from my apartment because the company would pay for it, and their accounts got shut down. I had no food. I had no water. And so I was like, great, okay, I'm homeless now. What am I gonna do this time? And you know what was so funny? And I realized at this time what my superpower was. My superpower is that I see things a lot of people don't, right? So I have a completely different perspective to a lot of things. And
Do
at that
you
moment,
think that's because of your acute observation skills as a police officer, or the ability to go out and kick ass?
I think it's the ability of not accepting that I can't do something, or not accepting that people are going to say, no, you can't do it, or I'm just going to refuse to fail. Right? No matter what comes at me, I refuse to fail. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to find a way. I don't know how, but I'll find a way. I'll figure it out. And so I remember at this point, I was sitting on the chair and I started laughing to myself, right? I could not stop laughing to myself. And my co-workers were looking at me and they're like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you realize what's just happened? You know? And I'm like, I do realize what's happened, but do you know what? When you think about the Tony Robbins of the world, the Les Browns of the world, they were all homeless at one point, and now they're multimillionaires. So guess what? That means I'm going to be a multimillionaire now, right? In my head, now I'm homeless, it's bound to happen, right? But because I had that perspective, I realized that I wasn't overwhelmed in the frustration or being upset or crying in a corner for trying to pull out my hair and figure out what I'm going to do. Therefore, I was able to think outside the box and get creative.
Yeah.
And what I decided to do at that point, I was like, well, hold on a second. I've learned so much about sales, about marketing, about branding, promoting, all of this stuff. And one way to get yourself out of a sticky situation and to help yourself is by helping others.
Bingo.
And right. And so I decided to go to different restaurants and hotels and the resort, show them what I can do. Now that's the one word people need to realize. Show people what you can do. Don't tell them.
Yeah.
Right?
Show them.
I showed them what I can do. Tell them I can bring clients in, help them promote, help them brand. In return, I needed food, water, and shelter. Right? That's all I'm asking
Just the
for.
basics. Just the basics.
Right. Exactly. And so as I did that for a couple of weeks, and I kind of reached out to different companies, I was then able to raise some money to then get a flight back to the UK. But that is key, guys. In order to help yourself, you need to help others.
I love that. I want to jump back in here. Arwash says he gives you a shout out And wow, never would have guessed she was a fighter for real. Wow. Beating people up. Do you hire out?
We should talk, Marcia.
Yes. Oh, LOL. Rachel, good morning. Good day. Just connected over on YouTube. So as you know, Kay, we're live streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and all over the
everywhere.
We're everywhere where fine podcasts are sold. Coming to support you as promised. Thank you so much. Gratitude. Kellen, up from Canada. Thank you, Russ Johns. Absolutely. Jenny Gold is in the house. Russ Johns at K. Wendy says, adjusting sales is very good exercise. Apparently, no wonder you like to fight. You have fought the attitude of despair during life's twists and turns, Pirate K. Absolutely. Oh. And Mary says, good morning. Her story is amazing. Absolutely. I'll have to share it on her podcast eventually. Okay, I'd love to have you on my show. So there you go. Another show.
There you go, Mary. Do reach out.
Coffee and Russ, a great start. Thank you so much, Mary. So I just before we wrap up here, I know that you're just in the beginning of your podcast.
Yes. Marketing
efforts. And I know that every business needs to be able to be seen, have the exposure they need to be, kind of bring some clarity into what you do, what you deliver, who you help, and how you help them. And I really believe that there's a lot of people out there that need help. And so who is it that you enjoy helping? Who do you like to attract, and who do you really align your ideas with and your ideals?
So are you talking about clients at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. So mainly I like to attract those people that tell me they can't do something for a reason, because I can show you that you can, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those coaches that just shows you one way. Okay, this is how you get sales. This is how you do marketing. This is how you do that. It's about mindset and perspective as well. I like to coach people on how to think differently, and to ask the right questions, because the questions that you ask determines the life that you live. Okay, and it's really important to express that and to let people know that this is what you need to start doing. And so as long as you're willing to change that mindset, to change your habits, okay, and changing what culture has taught you, what school, what education has taught you, and you want to learn a new way of life, it's those people that I want to speak with. Because the minute that you realize that you can have the life that you've always wanted, and all it has to do is a switch of your habits, right, and perspective, and you have that aha moment and that realization, that's when I realized, holy crap, I've done my job. That's what I've been sent here for.
I love it. So how do you like people to connect with you? Okay.
Oh, so if you go onto my website, you can go to www.uncensorsociety.com. Reach out to me there. I've got a contact page, and also my social media platforms are on there. You can reach out to me by private messaging me on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Just reach out if you have any questions. If you want me on your podcast, if you want to know about business, just let me know and I'll be happy to help.
Well, I want to welcome you into the pirate community, the pirate crew, and everything that we do is alignment with, making sure that people have an opportunity to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, because I want to highlight people like yourself doing great things, helping others, and making a difference, because it's important to me that that take place in the world. So,
well, Russ, thank you for having me here. I'm so glad to be part of your community. I can already see you've got amazing people part here. Why wouldn't I want to be a part of this, right?
Well, and if you want
more people,
yeah, absolutely. I think there's some alignment here. So let's double down and make sure that we help a few more people, because if you help more people more often and add more value, that's magic. That's where the magic happens.
Well, that's right. That's right. Definitely. Well, thank you again, Russ, for having me on here.
Yeah. Jeffrey says, amazing story, Kay. Thanks for sharing. So excited to hear your journey. It's all about our journeys for sure. Absolutely. Howard Kaufman says, great conversation. And Marcia says, time flew by. Very entertaining guest. So fantastic.
Thanks, Marcia.
And Kay and everyone here, thank you so much for being here. All the appreciation and gratitude in the world. And I wish you the very best in all your adventures today, tomorrow, next month, next year. Mm-hmm. And also know that you have a community here. You have people. Reach out, connect, let people know you're a pirate and you want to add a little value to the world. And also connect with Kay and let her know that you're a pirate too. Because, kindness is cool and smiles are free. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you again, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.